Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. The roster, first of all, I should have asked you this before we recorded. I hope and think you can talk about everybody. If I name a name, just, we'll edit it out if if there's somebody you can't talk about. But obviously, I kind of wanted to wait to kind of connect with you just so you had some semblance of a mostly full roster. But, I was in Vegas on Thursday night, watching the Thunder Minnesota game when the Darrion Williams news popped. And, I think that, a lot of people seem to think that there was a lean to maybe another school. I'll include myself in that. And, you kind of hear, NC State's kind of in the mix. And then, boom, next thing you know, he's done. The edit is out with him wearing the Letterman jacket. Just the impact, who he is, the impact that he can have, because I think anybody who watches college basketball knows what a good player he is.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's one of the most impactful players in the country. In our metric system, he's the number one player in the country.
Wow.
In our independent metric system that we've kind of built out with our assistant GM, Patrick Stacy. He's the most impactful player in the entire country. If you look at his numbers.
Is this just the portal or anyone, anywhere all season last year?
Anywhere else? No.
Wow.
Coming back this coming year.
Okay. Yeah. But
coming in this coming year. I mean, his score is higher than, I'm not going to get into all that, but I mean, he can impact the game in a lot of ways. I mean, he obviously can score it. He shoots it pretty good, but he impacts it with his passing, his feel. He's just a really, really good basketball player. He's got some great leadership to him. Comes from a tremendous family. His mom and dad, Leon and Catherine, like really, really good people, and they do a great job of keeping him humble. But also, making sure that they're working together to help him move forward as well. So, it was a fun recruitment, and they're fun people to have on a visit. Most people didn't think we were getting him because they didn't know he had visited. He had visited us actually before he was at Kansas. He left us and went to Kansas. We just didn't, publicize everything that was going on with the visit and kind of brought him in and got him out. But he's somebody that's going to be a potential preseason All-American and potential ACC preseason Player of the Year. I mean, he's the real deal, and we're excited. And more than just, I mean, he's a great basketball player, but he's a great person. He's a great teammate. The more you find out, you kind of find out some of that intel and just some of the things he did for his teammates at Texas Tech that went. That went undocumented, so to speak, or unreported on. He helped some of his teammates out that were in a little bit lesser situation than he was, and brought some parents to a game. He just did a lot of really unique stuff that I felt very, very comfortable with. Look, the data spits out who he is as a player. Then you've got to, the other part of it's figuring out who he is as a person, and he checks both boxes and passes both with flying colors.
Not just with him, but obviously there were some other guys that were kind of going through that draft process that you weren't like coming with you from McNeese. I'm just kind of curious, like, how do you find that balance of guys are fully locked in on the draft and like you want them to chase their dreams, but you also want to know if you want to come back, we're interested. I'm just curious, like, how that balance works of kind of letting everybody, giving them their space, but also letting them know there's a spot for you in Raleigh if this is the decision that you make.
Yeah, I think everybody's different. Some kids want to be talked to and recruited even while they're going through the draft process. Some kids want to, you to just spot check with them, and some kids want to be left alone. And when it's time for them to get out of the draft process, they'll let you know. And so D5 was kind of in the last part of that. He was just, let me go through the draft process, and then, at the combine, he started reaching back out and be like, hey, can we set up a visit and that sort of thing. So everybody's different. I think as a coach, you want to, honor what they're asking you to do, or honor what their request is, as they go through the process. And so there's no real one size, fits all method to that.
Roster's largely set. Just for the casual college.
We can always add one or two more. You never know.
Yeah. Listen, there's some rumors on the internet. Like I said, there's some guys you probably can't talk about yet. I was gonna say,
Don't
I
believe
mean,
anything you hear and only half of what you see.
well, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, there was all sorts of stuff out there about Darrion Williams, and then, like I said, he's showing up on my timeline in an NC State Letterman's jacket. So you got to be careful. I was gonna say, like, what now? I mean, I'm sure it from the day, pretty much from the start of last season through the NCAA tournament, you take the job, you hit the ground running. Roster seems to be largely set, minus a piece or two. Like, what do you do now? I mean, obviously, the kids are going to be probably back on campus if they aren't already. Do you get any downtime, or is it straight into summer practices, all that stuff?
Straight into summer practice. We're not gonna do any resting.
Okay.
So we were here all weekend, Memorial Day weekend. We were working all day, all the staff all weekend. So we were getting after it. So our guys get here starting this weekend.
Oh
We'll
wow.
have a majority of the team here next week. We'll kind of have a kind of a starter week where it's not a full week, but we kind of get going, and then after that, it's boom, boom, boom. We're in our 8 weeks for the summer, and we'll be after it. And that's the fun part. Like I enjoy the recruiting. I get energy with recruiting. I love recruiting. I love meeting people, relationships, but the team building and the team forming, and that's what I enjoy that stuff. It's different when there's nobody around the facility. It's just me and the coach. Like I love having the players coming in and out, the players coming in. Like I had a kid. We have 3 kids here right now. One kid came in my office and we had lunch yesterday. Like I like that. Like that's the fun part for me is having action, having people around the facility, having people moving. And we hadn't had that yet, and so I'm excited to get that as we get going next week.
I'll tell you what, that's all I really got. I appreciate that. The only thing I was going to say about the Raleigh stuff was I said, when are we going to get a schedule? I mean, I know the ACC's down to 18. I think you guys are in
We're
Maui this
working on
year.
it. We got one more game to get. Everything else, we've got contracts out. We got one more game to get.
All
We
right.
got a home game December 13th against Kansas.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that
Be
out
a
there yet?
great time for you to come.
Is that out there yet?
I don't know. If it isn't, it is. If it isn't, it is now.